Everybody, it's Paul here, and what I'm going to do, freshly shaved on my head, by the way. What I'm going to do is I'm going to make a response video to one of my subs because I really think that he just kind of plays the percentage. Like when he thinks about like what I do, he thinks of the percentage game, and that's not going to work with me because he's got this idea that I went to the Philippines for sex tourism. Now, to some degree or another, unless you're going for the Peace Corps or something like that, it's going to be pretty much sex tourism. Pretty much that's the way the ball bounces. However, to be fair, I want to make sure that you understand how it was for me with my son, because I think my son doesn't like me, or he has this. He's almost like autistic about it, because I think he just sees me as what the Filipinos say, some bad guy from the West, some American that has a heavy libido. Well, that's fine, that's fine. But here's the truth. The truth is, I tried to get my wife when we first met back in 2003 or 2002. It was a long, long time ago. I was very honest with her and very clear about what I could do and what I couldn't do. And it took a long time, like 2 weeks, which is a long time. Those are sacred days when you go out of country. So it took like probably 12, 15 days before she gave in, which is hard to impress upon you how serious that is. So, because a lot of the girls will jump right in bed with you, of course. That's Philippine sex tourism. They have a name for it. It's called bar fine. And, you pay, now it's probably like 1,500 pesos or 2,500 pesos, which is like maybe $40. But it used to be cheaper and all that. I mean, I did it a couple of times, but it wasn't, what I did. I did it a couple times. And then I kind of tried to make it work with my wife. And it was tough because I won't go into the whole thing on this round. I'm just going to tell you about what happened with from about 2000, and I think that was 2006. I think it was 2006. Or no, it was 2008. No, my son was born in 2007. Sorry, I bit my lip. I bit my tongue again on the side, so I'm going to talk like a retard again. It was 2007. He was born. And in 2006, we wound up, I was cutting yards then, so I had a better rate, and I also had money, something I don't have now. But anyways, we planned out the trip, this sex tourism trip, that Rudy is so coiled and springed about. But we figured the cycle of my wife, and then I came there like the 8th day of her cycle. And that's the way we did it, because that's what I thought would be the best chance. We were trying to have a baby. That's what I wanted. I figured if I didn't have it, I probably never would have a child, which is probably true. So, on my recommendation, we had her best friend with us when we conceived Grace, of course. But why wouldn't you? Because this was going to be the one and only chance, pretty much, to have a child, because you don't get to come back 3 or 4 months later. It would be a year. So this was all the best we could do. And yes, that's what you want to do, is you want to have a second girl there, because that's the best chance you're going to have, because you're going to feel the most emotional. And I also have a love for this girl. So I still do. And of course, that was part of the reason why we had my son now. So I don't know if that makes me a bad guy. I don't know if that makes me a pragmatist. I don't know if that makes me real. I don't know what that makes me. But I'll tell you something. I will never forget it, because I remember I put on and Rudy will get into this, and he goes, well, I know you like cartoons. But I put on Alice in Wonderland, and there's one really beautiful version of it that is animated. I can already see Rudy right now on this going off the deep end. He's probably knocked Carlos out of his sleeper chair or whatever. We put on Alice in Wonderland, and for the next 7-8 hours, that's kind of what we were doing. And believe it or not, I still remember the exact moment my wife got pregnant. I remember, because I remember the exact time. I know. And it was just a really beautiful thing. That's all I have to tell you. Am I ashamed of it? I'm not ashamed of it. I mean, why would you? It was conceived in love. It was unlike others, I will say that. And boy, we had a good time. We had a good time on that vacation. We went everywhere. We went to McDonald's, which they call McDo, KFC, and these are all like nice places that you want to take them because they enjoy it. And I'm not sure if I had my motorcycle that time. Maybe I did. I don't know. Maybe I didn't. I forgot now. But we had a good time. We rode the motorcycle together. It was nice. The Filipinos aren't so uptight that they can't handle that. But here, it's a different game. Here, they would rape the woman and they would kill you. But the Filipinos are different. They're a different kind of people. So, I don't know. I guess you could call it sex tourism, or birthing tourism, or whatever you want to call it. Let's face it, Rudy, it's no worse than these fucking little pieces of crap that are coming here from China and other places and scheduling out having their babies here and getting all the free stuff. Okay? Maybe you should give a quicker look on that and less on my libido, shall we say. And folks, I haven't been with anyone, and it's now 13 years. So the only thing I can do is look back on my beautiful experiences, and my son resents me because I'm not there. That's his big gig, is told me. He blames me for having a hard life. So maybe he's right. But I talked to him 2 nights ago, and he was with his cousin, Racy. It looked like they were doing their thing. I don't know what they were doing, but they were doing it, and they were doing it for a while. So, but they were happy to be with each other, and they get along. So, I don't know what's going on, but he talked to me for a while, and he actually, this is amazing, he actually made a 7-8-year-old effort to take his beautiful time period pants, put them on, and his short sleeve white shirt, which I prefer a long sleeve, frankly, but he put on his short sleeve white shirt, donned his time period beautiful brown vest, and kind of strutted his stuff there. He didn't really strut his stuff, but he kind of said, here. Now, there were no shoes, and he didn't wear his Peaky Blinders cap. But he had a little chain for a pocket watch there. I figured that out. And he still looked good, like on a 7th or 8th grade level, because that's about how that went. It was a half-hearted attempt, but at least he tried and didn't ridicule me, and like as Rudy does and some others, for wanting what's best for my son, because the Peaky Blinders is it's the top. There's nothing even close. The shock value of going dressed up in 20s and early 30s time period is amazing. I'm telling you, people don't know how to make heads or tails out of it, but they know it's something. It's because most people aren't educated at all. So that's my response to Rudy and my sex tourism child, okay? Which we were lucky to have because we got one shot at that. You know what I'm talking about. You know, you can't stay there for 2 months, 3 months in the Philippines. It's just, you know, not as a regular guy. Anyways, take care, subscribe, be nobody. You know, I'm real. What can I tell you? My mouth is killing me. My side where I have to pronounce my words on my tongue. Take care. Give me a like, because if you give me a like, at least Rudy's doing that, I think. If you give me a like, my channel gets out more, and then we'll get more subscribers. That's how it works. But, you know, subs aren't everything. Take care, and it is good to be with you. And I think maybe things will start getting easier for me. I don't know. Go the other way, too. Take care, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.